Head of the Languages Department at Kingston Technical High. Today, I will be looking at the speaking and listening unit. All right, let's focus on our objectives for today. So by the end of today's lesson, our candidates should be able to share some listening comprehension tips with others. Yes, so you're going to tell others what you have learned. You should also be able to engage in a stage 2 listening comprehension activity, explain the various components of the speaking and listening activities at all 3 stages, and explain the rubric for the group discussion and individual presentation. All right, remember our theme for this year is media and communication. Now, we have already spoken about the 2 major units, right, in this exam. So we have the speaking and listening component, which values 1/3 of your overall mark, and we have the reading and writing component that values 2/3 of your overall mark. Now, we have been spending a lot of time looking at the reading and writing component, and so today we're going to look at the speaking and listening component. Now, the stages, all 3 stages have these components. So we have the reading and writing that is externally set and marked. So your papers are set in the UK, they are sent to Jamaica, you sit your exams here, and the papers are sent back to the UK to be marked, and then your results come, and your certificates come from the UK back to you here in Jamaica. The speaking and listening units are assessed locally. So your teachers will do the assessment and your head of department will supervise the process. So you will get one integrated and thematic assessment covering reading and writing, and this includes detailed reading and extended writing. And remember, our theme for this year is media and communication, so make sure that you are at home doing your research. You will also get one integrated speaking and listening assessment, including listening task, group discussion, presentation, reflection, and evaluation. So what do candidates have to do? This is very, very important. If I'm sitting stage 1, what is it that is required of me? What about stage 2 and stage 3? So we're going to look at all of the stages. So let's start with stage 3. So at stage 3, you have a listening task, you have an individual presentation to do, you are required to participate in a group discussion, and you also have reflection and evaluation to do, and that values 30 marks. At stage 2, you also have a listening task, you have a small group discussion, and you have a reflection, and that values 24 marks. So you'll realize that at stage 2, there is no individual presentation. That is only done at the stage 3 level. At stage 1, you have a listening task as well. You engage in a small group discussion and you have to do a reflection, and that values 20 marks. Now, the speaking and listening process is under the oversight of the City and Guilds external verifier. So when you are doing your exam, you are likely to see a visitor in your exam room. This person we call the external verifier, or the EV, and then the head of your department or the person who's in charge of exams at your school is called the internal verifier, right? So that person will be in the exam room, as well as your assessors, who are your teachers, and they're the persons who are going to be listening to you and grading you. Students who are unsuccessful in their first attempt are permitted to resit this component at no cost to them. So if you didn't do as well as you expected to do, then you get a chance to resit without paying for this resit, and this is a great bonus. The speaking and listening element will be internally assessed, and it will be quality assured, and that is why the assessor, the internal verifier is there to monitor what is happening, and that is also why the external verifier will come to make sure that proper procedures are being followed. So it is internally assessed and it is quality assured. The listening activity and the discussion can be assessed on different occasions. So you may be told to come in one particular day to do your listening comprehension activity, and then you are told to come back another day to get the discussion done, and at stage 3, the discussion and the individual presentation. For the listening comprehension, candidates can listen to the recording for this activity up to 3 times. Yes. So the audio is going to be played for you, and it can be played to a maximum of 3 times, and you will answer the questions. There is no specific required duration to complete this activity. There's a minimum duration required of at least 5 minutes to complete the discussion activity. So when you get in your groups and you're put in your groups on the day of the exam, when you get in your groups, you have a discussion period of 5 minutes. Now, your assessor or your teachers will have assessment records for you for every single candidate. So the assessment record is a mark scheme and a record of the marks achieved. So the marking scale provides the number of marks that the candidate can achieve for each criterion. So you can get full marks. This could either be 2 marks or 3 marks, right? If you have gotten the full marks, it means that you have demonstrated that you meet the criteria consistently. Note the word consistently at that level. All right. You can also, the assessor can also indicate that you have done so most of the time. This demonstrates consistency at the level with occasional lapses with minimal competency ensured. All right, then 0 marks, yes, that can happen. Please don't let it happen. Demonstrates that the candidate has not met the required standard at that level, and we don't want that to happen. All right, so you know now what the assessor will be looking for, so make sure that you come prepared. Now, I'm going to share with you today some listening comprehension tips. All right, very important. Listening is the one skill that you use the most in everyday life. Do you agree with me? Of course you do. We listen to almost everything, right? Listening comprehension is the basis for your speaking, your writing, and your reading skills. To train your listening skills, and notice I have highlighted it because, yes, you will have to learn to train your listening skills. So to do that, it is important to listen actively, which means to actively pay attention to what you are listening to. Make it a habit to listen to audiobooks, podcasts, news, songs, and to watch videos and films in English. Remember, you are preparing for an English exam. You should know that there are different types of listening. Listening for gist simply means that you listen in order to understand the main idea of the text. Then you can listen for specific information. You want to find out specific details, for example, keywords. And I would encourage you to read the questions before you actually start listening to the reading task so you know exactly what to listen for. This will give you an advantage. Then we have listening for detailed understanding, all right? You want to understand all the information that the text provides. Before you listen to a text, you should be aware of these different types of listening. You will have to decide what your purpose is. Why are you listening? What is your reason for listening? Becoming aware of this fact will help you to both focus on the important points and to also reach your goal. And your goal is to ensure that you answer all your questions correctly. Before you listen, think about the topic of the text that you are going to listen to. And you would know because you know what your theme is. What do you already know about the topic? What could possibly be the content of the text? Which words come to mind that you already know? Which words would you want to look up? Remember now, in this exam, you are not allowed to use a dictionary for the listening section of the exam. So you have to depend on the knowledge that you already have. If you have to do a task on the listening text, check whether you have understood the task correctly. So it's important that you read and reread your questions so that you can answer them correctly. All right? Then you want to think about what type of text you're going to listen to and ask yourself, what do you know about this type of text? Then relax and make yourself ready to pay attention to the listening task. Make sure that you are relaxed. Now, while you are listening, it is not necessary to understand every single word, okay? But you're trying to understand what the text is saying overall. If there are words or issues that you don't understand, use your general knowledge as well as the context. I keep telling you how important context is, as well as the context to find out the meaning. Focus on keywords and facts, very, very important, and take notes to supply your memory. Intonation and stress of speakers can help you to understand what you hear. So you can listen to the speaker's tone, listen to the speaker's pitch. All right, very, very important. Try to think ahead. What might happen next? What might the speakers say? Which words might they use? And then after listening now, think about the text again. Have you understood the main points? Remember the speculations you made before you listened. Did they come true? and review your notes. And remember that you can listen to this a maximum of 3 times. You listen to the audio a maximum of 3 times. Check whether you have completed your task correctly. Have you had any problems while listening? Do you have any problems now to complete your task? Identify your problems and work at addressing them. And listen more than once to difficult passages. So those are some tips to improve your listening comprehension. Now we're going to do a listening activity. So you are going to listen to my voice and you're going to focus on these questions, right? These are some questions. I chose the specimen paper under the theme employability. I chose stage 2. The listening comprehension values 5 marks. And the questions are, what is the topic of the talk? What does Robert thank Catherine for? What is a benefit of smiling when giving a presentation? What does Robert dislike? And what is Robert's 4th and final tip? So you're going to focus on those questions as I read. I will only read once because of my time constraints, but your examiner will actually play the audio for you 3 times. Here goes. Good morning, and welcome to our session on presentation skills. Our presenter today is Robert Sharwell from Management Matters based in Kingston. Robert is a communication skills specialist, and today he wants to pass on some of his key tips for giving a memorable presentation. So, over to you, Robert. Thank you, Catherine. It's lovely to be here, and thank you for inviting me. As Catherine said, today's topic is all about presentation skills. Let's face it, some people love to talk, but some people don't. And giving a presentation can be quite challenging. So here are some of my top tips. Firstly, let's think about planning. Breaking it down into 3 sections, a beginning, a middle, and an end, will not only give your presentation structure, but will also help with writing it. My second big tip is smile. You might be asking yourself how smiling could possibly make a difference when giving a presentation. Well, you'll feel more relaxed, and it will put your audience at ease. Thirdly, there's nothing worse than listening to people read their notes word for word. Instead, you should aim to know your topic inside and out. Lastly, don't fidget. One of the worst things you can do during a presentation is fidget. If you're not sure about how much you fidget, try filming yourself. You'll be surprised at how many times you tuck your hair behind your ears, click your pen, and tap your fingers on the desk. So, that's it for today. Remember, plan, smile, go with the flow, and don't fidget. Thank you for listening. Now, any questions? So that is your listening activity. All right, so you would have looked at the questions and you would have heard the audio. Remember, in the exam, you're going to hear it 3 times, so don't worry. All right, the first question, what is the topic of the presentation of the talk? And it is presentation skills. All right, what does Robert thank Catherine for? For inviting him. What is a benefit of smiling when giving a presentation? The answer is that it puts you and your audience at ease. And this one is multiple choice. What does Robert dislike? And you're to tick the correct answer. A presenter who loves to talk. B, a presenter reading his or her notes. C, someone playing with his or her hair. D, someone filming a rehearsal. The answer is C, a presenter reading his or her notes. So we tick that one. And the 5th question, what is Robert's 4th and final tip? You can say don't fidget or try filming yourself. And there you go, you would have earned your 5 marks. Right? So that would be your listening comprehension activity. And then we get now at stage 2, we get into our discussion or group discussion. Now, the instruction says, in a group, have a discussion. This is something you do all the time, but most of the time when you're doing it, you're speaking in the Jamaican Creole. So this is an opportunity now for you to have a discussion using standard English. So I want to encourage you, even at home, among your family, practice. All right? This could be about getting a job or another topic given to you. Remember, this one is based on the theme employability. The discussion should take at least 5 minutes. A group is defined as a minimum of 3 and no more than 5 people. You will be given space and you'll be given time to plan what you are going to say. This is what the examiners are looking for. If you present ideas and organize information in sequence and you develop the main points, you earn 2 marks. If you listen to and identify information given by others all the time, you earn another 2 marks. So you have to speak and you have to listen to each other. If you listen to and respond to information given by others consistently, so now you're listening and later on you're going to respond to what you have heard, you earn 2 marks. You gain 2 marks if you make several relevant contributions to a discussion, so you have to come prepared. 2 marks if you respond to questions appropriately. So yes, you want to respond to the question, but you must make sure that you respond appropriately. Answer the question. 2 marks if you make requests and ask questions to obtain additional information appropriately. So if somebody is speaking and you need more information, make the request, ask your question, but do so appropriately. You earn another 2 marks if you adapt contributions to the discussion to suit your audience, your purpose, and your situation. So you always have to think about your audience. And in this particular case, you're talking to your peers. So 3 to 5 of you are sitting around the table and you're having a conversation. What is your purpose? You are discussing this topic, and the situation is that you are doing this for an exam. You're going to get 2 marks if you use strategies to clarify and confirm that you understand what is taking place. You also earn 2 marks for using phrases for interruption that are appropriate to the situation, and you have to use these phrases consistently. So if somebody is speaking and you want to say something, you have to do so respectfully. If you don't do it respectfully, you're going to lose marks. And you earn a mark if you respect the turn-taking rights of others during the discussion. So there's a time for everybody to speak. When it is your time to speak, speak. Other than that, you're going to be quiet and listen to the others as they speak and respect everybody's chance or opportunity to speak. All right, so you earn marks for that as well. All right, let's move on now to look at the stage 3 individual presentation. This is the only stage where you will do an individual presentation, okay? So if you're doing stage 2, you don't need to worry about this. If you're doing stage 1, you don't need to worry about this. Only the people who are doing stage 3. So the individual presentation now, what are the examiners looking for? Now, you have to speak confidently in a way that suits the situation throughout the presentation. And this presentation should last 3 to 4 minutes, okay? You are going to be timed, and the examiner will tell you when to stop. 2 marks now if you respond confidently to detailed or extended questions. After you have made your presentation, your group member or group members will ask you some questions. Give an effective explanation or account, 2 marks. Gives multi-step instruction that can be followed, and you earn another 2 marks. Demonstrates the organization and sequencing of information and ideas, you earn another 2 marks. So in total, you can earn 10 marks for your individual presentation. Remember that a week before your exam, you will get your subtopic for the exam, so that gives you adequate time to prepare. All right, for listening comprehension, all right, this is activity 2. Identifies detailed information from a presentation, follows multi-step instruction, makes requests and asks questions appropriate to the context and the topic, right? So, and then now the discussion at stage 3. Let me just go back a little there. So here at stage 3, you adapt contributions in a discussion to suit your audience, purpose, and situation. Similar to stage 2, use evidence to support your opinions and your arguments. Many of us, we have our opinion, yes, but we don't have enough evidence to support our opinion. So we need to work on that as we prepare for the exam. Uses phrases for interruption and change of topic that are appropriate to the situation. For example, I would like to interject, I would like to say something. As soon as you're finished, I would like to add something to what you have said earlier, right? Or you may, if you want to change the topic, you could say on another note, or let's look at it another way. Then use strategies to reassure. All right? So it's very, very important. So knowledge is power. Right? I'm giving you all the relevant information. So what you need to do now is to prepare yourselves well. And what your teachers can do, now that you are at home, they can actually set up Skype calls, right? And use Zoom to have these group discussions and these individual presentations. So you need to be given a subtopic and you need to be given time to prepare. We believe in preparation. Right? So you need adequate time to prepare so that you can, and then the teacher now will tell you which particular particular day and time, you will use the online platforms to do your listening task. So you can use the online platform to do the listening comprehension, to participate in your group discussion, and also at stage 3 to do your individual presentation. So don't think that because you're at home, then you cannot practice the listening comprehension or the speaking and listening aspect of the exam. This is not so. Listen to learn. Listen to learn. All right? Practice, practice, practice. You learn when you listen, and this is a fact. We know this from experience. You earn when you listen, and you earn not just money, but you earn respect. That's all the time that we have for today, but join us again tomorrow for more math and English sessions with City and Guilds. Pleasant viewing.